On June the 28th, Layton Lake got a massive population redistribution. Essentially most of the hotspots and times were updated. Now there are many new great locations to look for diamonds and rares, making this map one of the best reserves to get trophies. The map is still as good as always, but the great locations we used to know are not the same anymore. It ain't necessarily easier to find trophies than before, but without any doubt, Layton Lake is still one of the best options for that matter. So the goal of this video is to show you the best locations and times as well as every single hotspot map to hunt all the species on Layton Lake. $165 to $194. That's a huge blacktail. Even though it's just a level 4, it has one of the diamond potential racks, so I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it. You know, level 4 diamond blacktails are not precisely common, but they are not too rare neither, which means there is a good chance we're looking at my first ever level 4 diamond buck of any kind. Anyway, we found this guy in what is one of the best locations to hunt blacktail after the update. As you can see, the right side of this huge lake is loaded with blacktail zones. They can only drink on the right side, so you don't have to cover as much area. Blacktail drink from 4 to 8:30 PM, which is enough time to explore this location and the rest of the best locations on the map. The only issue is that you'll have only like 2 or 3 hours of sunlight, so you'll want to consider to reset the time once the sun goes down. We are almost 130 meters away from the sky, which is still too far because on this occasion the plan is to use the recurve. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I used it. In fact, I don't recall using the recurve in the last 2.5 months actually. It's been a while. I used to use it a lot almost every hunt, but you know, in the last weeks I've been trying different weapons, although the recurve is always gonna be my favorite. I won't use it every time because of course I also use in other weapons like shotguns and handguns, but it stays as my first option and go-to weapon for special occasions. Alright. We are a lot closer now. This is a decent position to call them in, but we have the option to take cover in one of those shrubs right there. Apart from this area, the blacktail also inhabits a bunch of different locations that make up what I'ma call the home range number 1. It is essentially the only section of the map, the only home range where you can find blacktail in Roosevelt Elk. It is also one of the 2 home ranges where it's possible to find black bear, jackrabbits, and coyotes. That means that every single spot inhabited by blacktail will also have the presence of all these species, since they are part of the same home range. Okay, let's see. About 45 meters, perfect distance. I believe that is a big one and he's alert, so gotta go prone. Okay, he's calm again. Just gonna make a few calls to get him on a better position. And let's go for it. Oh, he's alert again. Damn. I actually feel this shrub is not giving us the cover it should. I mean, it is supposed to be full cover, but this guy is noticing us really easy. Anyway, we need to hurry because this buck is probably about to flee. Oh, he's alarmed. We got him. At pretty much the last second, but he's down. Let's see how big it is. It might be a diamond. 175.49 gold. It didn't make it, but that is a gigantic level 4. Anyway, this lake is certainly worth checking if you wanna find a big blacktail or a trophy of any of the species that inhabit the first home range. The same can be said for all these locations, which are all quite consistent, especially for blacktail, Roosevelt Elk, and black bear. We cannot forget that even though hunting drink times is always gonna be the easiest way to get trophies, Layton Lake is not a bad reserve for feed zone hunting. It is far from being the best, but it still has some nice spots. So in case you're looking for feed zones for the species present on the first home range, here I leave you what I consider are some nice locations to hunt these animals while they are feeding. Now, since it is possible to get the Grade 1 black bear on this reserve, you probably wanna know which are the best black bear locations. So first of all, you need to know that black bears inhabit pretty much the whole map. They can be found in both home ranges, so they live in every single region. Their population seems to be evenly distributed across the whole map. So there are not many spots that really stand out because most of them have a very similar amount of bears. Although as always there are some locations that could be considered above average. For instance, this body of water located on Valmont is quite a consistent location where you can expect to find multiple bears around the shore and usually more males than females, although that will mostly depend on your own population. I also gotta mention this part of the river up here, which I have to say is more inconsistent. Sometimes it is fantastic and some others is not as impressive, but more times than not it will be a good location. Now there is a big moose. 259 to 313, decent estimate, but I would say that Palmate is perhaps not the most promising one. You know, it has a rack that I've seen mostly on trolls. And I mean in more trolls than diamonds, because of course he also has a chance to make it, so the odds are perhaps not in our favor, but it still has a good chance. Anyway, we found this guy in what is one of the best places to hunt moose inside the second home range. This is a great area to find bulls. It will depend on your map population, but usually this area is gonna have between 10 to 15 bulls, which might not sound like a crazy number, but it's actually quite high if we talk about moose and how dispersed their zones are in other spots. Overall, it is one of the best locations to hunt all the species present on the second home range, which apart from the moose are the whitetail, black bear, coyotes, and jackrabbits. Don't expect it to be as consistent for the species as it is for the moose, but it's still worth checking. I wanna use a crossbow on this occasion, so I'ma take cover in one of those bushes and then I'ma use a collar to get him below 70 meters, to go for a headshot. Let's see here. Alright. They don't seem to be interested. Gonna try again and hopefully they come in this time. Okay, finally. 62 meters. Pretty much at range. Now getting close to 50, so let's go for it. Gonna go for the heart. He is down. Potentially a diamond moose. Hopefully it is. 271.56. Troll. Damn. It's sadly not a diamond. The pictures were nice though. It has a beautiful rack. As I said, the second home range is also the home of the whitetail deer. They share the same locations with the moose, so here is a tip. If you are looking to find all your whitetail drink zones, make sure to also pay attention to the position of your moose drink zones, because all those zones also have the potential to be whitetail zones. So if you have a lot of moose zones, you can certainly take those as reference while exploring at the whitetail drink time. And I would recommend you to start on these locations, which are generally the best ones inside the second home range. These areas are nice to hunt drink zones, but if you wanna hunt feed zones, you can also visit the spots where it's not necessarily easy to find the zones, but are the ones that seem to have a higher concentration of animals.